Jon Jones. That guy. The guy may be a steroid abuser, cocaine user, and one of the most disgraced fighters to still see employment in the UFC, while consistently having his failures kind of swept under the rug by the media, the promotion, as well as some fans who try to just ignore it all. But at the end of the day, we can see that he had a dominant run at 205 pounds. Everyone remembers the dubious decision that he was gifted against Dominic Reyes, but some people say we saw it back in 2013 in his title defense against Alexander Gustafsson. Is this decision still a horrid one right now in 2024? Well, I mean, that's my job today. You know, I'm Jon Neal, and I'm here to take a look at UFC 165. UFC 165, it took place September 21st in 2013 at the Air Canada Centre, Toronto to be exact. The event raked in $1.9 million, had an attendance of just over 15,000, with pay-per-view buy rates hitting over 310,000. Golden Team is here, Mike Goldberg, Joe Rogan, but that's enough of the preamble though. Let's get to the fights. So this main card opens up. This was like a lot of people's introduction to one of the great lightweights of all time in Khabib Nurmagomedov, but he had himself a real scrap. He had to take on Pat Healy. Early on, Healy's trying to get some pressure going on Khabib, but a good leaping punch lands for Khabib, just trying to stall the pressure a bit. Healy goes for the first takedown and stuff. Khabib is trying to let his hands go off the counter, and he's doing a good job of landing that leaping left hook. Khabib's landing, and he's getting the confidence, and he throws basically 2 flying knees back to back, essentially. Lots of uppercuts getting thrown. They're landing for Khabib. Healy keeps ducking his head to get on the inside, so it's right there for him. Another big flying knee from Khabib. In this round, despite Khabib having this reputation for being this big smashing wrestler, it's mostly Khabib just smashing on Healy on the feet. Second round, big uppercut for Khabib again. Clinch up happens. Khabib tosses Healy down, but Healy gets up and eats some shots on the way up. They reset in the middle, and this round honestly is just more of the same, with some wrestling as Khabib is starting to slow down a bit, and that is letting Healy land some shots. Final round, Khabib goes for another takedown, gets stuffed. Another clinch up. Healy's trying to make the grind work with some knees inside, but Khabib gets another big takedown, and he's in full guard to land some shots from the top. Healy takes his punishment, gets back on his feet, but on his way up, Khabib gets a huge slam that has him carrying him across the cage, Matt Hughes style, and the rest of the round is Khabib just working from top position, and he gets a very clear, unanimous decision win. And I gotta be honest, I was actually kind of excited to watch this fight again, because I remembered it being pretty good. I don't know what I was remembering then. It wasn't a great fight, honestly. 6 out of 10 for the slow moments, but 6 out of 10 for the fun moments, but it does have some slow moments in there. And so next up, we have one of those more secretly boring fighters of all time in Francis Carmel taking on the fun brawler Kostas Philippou. And I'm going to be honest, this first round just sucks. Both fighters tossing some kicks down until Carmel gets a double leg to get Philippou down. After that, he just holds him down with some attempts at working towards a submission, maybe moving position. That's it. It's not a great round in the slightest. Maybe the second round will be better. No, it's not. It's basically the same thing, but it happens twice practically, as there's a stand-up, as even Big John gets bored and makes one happen, then Carmon just does the same thing again. Third round, well, it's the most exciting round, but only because there was a full minute of almost striking. They didn't really do much there either, but what do you want from a Francis Carmon fight? It's more of Carmon holding Philippou down and giving the audience a chance to use the restroom or get a snack, and Carmon wins a unanimous decision. This fight sucks. I'm going to go with a 2 out of 10. I don't know if I want to give it a 1. I'll go with 2 out of 10. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's a pretty bad fight. But now we have some heavyweight fights between probably the worst comedian of all time, Brendan Schaub, and he's taking on Matt Mitrione. So both dudes, they're letting their hands go early here. Schaub landing some good shots, but Mitrione's able to land some shots back, which might be causing some nerves for Schaub. Big right hand from Schaub, and it cuts Mitrione open, but it doesn't seem like it had that much of an effect on him. Schaub goes for a blitz, and while most are defended, he's able to get a big takedown right after. Schaub advances well, gets a slick Bravo choke, and it puts Mitrione out cold. And this fight isn't that bad. It's fine, actually. Like, it's a pretty decent little fight. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I almost want to give it a 7.5 out of 10. But I'm going to be honest. It doesn't matter because 7 or 7.5 out of 10 for Brendan Schaub, that's a better score insignificantly than anyone's given him in his comedian career. So, you know, he needs a good recent score. So I'll give him this. time for the co-main event, and we see that the UFC does have a history of having these weird title defenses as the Beach Boys' favorite fighter, Renan Barão, and he takes on Eddie Wineland. So a lot of people don't actually remember the first round of this fight. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, okay? Eddie Wineland is smoking Barão on the feet. The head movement is there. He's just making Barão miss, then countering him, pressuring with forward movement. And Barão has a history of spinning when things get rough for him. And it's honestly just the Eddie Wineland show in the first round. Second round, and it looks like it's going to be the same. Boom! Huge spinning back kick to the head. Eddie Wineland drops. Barão jumps on him, and he gets a minor comeback win. So this was actually pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting fight. I'm a big Eddie Wineland fan, but this is still an 8 out of 10. Yeah, it's an 8 out of 10 fight because first round's a lot of fun, and the finish is fantastic. So now we have our main event of the evening. Jon Jones, Alexander Gustafsson, and let's look at the challenger first. 6-fight win streak. He has names on it like Thiago Silva, and he just beat Shogun Rua. Gus is this long striker, underrated grappling game, and with his length and mobility, people are giving him some credit in the build-up of this fight. But then we have Jon Jones. We all know how I feel about him. That said, Jon Jones was on a good run at light heavyweight, and this was the first time he was taking on a guy who wasn't an aging veteran. And so that added a lot of intrigue to this fight. First round, it's a shocker at the time because, man, Gus just puts it on Jones. Jones is trying to stalk him, but big counter punches just come in over and over and over. Jones gets busted open, then even gets taken down. The round ends with Gus having all the momentum, even if he does eat an elbow at the very end of the round. Second round, Jon gets a kick caught. Gus sweeps him down. Jon does manage to turn in and try to get on the hips of Gus, but he gets stuffed. And Jon is really trying to get his striking going. His boxing has never been great, and Gus is taking advantage of it. Jon Jones is now trying to use his kicks to try to take momentum when he can. It's giving him some moments, such as a really good body kick and a clipping head kick, but Gus is stuffing all these takedowns, catching kicks when he can, landing great counter shots, even a really good uppercut. This is another round for Gus. Round 3, we see a slick right straight into a right uppercut for Gus. Jon is still trying to take away the movement with low kicks and body kicks. Gus is still moving all right though, and he's stuffing any takedown attempts. A lot of body punches that are leading into shots up high. Jon is landing a high kick, but he doesn't really do anything to Gus, it seems like. He just kind of eats it and moves forward. Jon is trying to get his kicks going. He stuffs a takedown from Gus, but with about a minute left, he's still eating jabs. He's still eating left hooks from the challenger. Jon goes for a spin. Gus sees it coming. He takes the back, tries for another takedown, and Jon is really trying to get this momentum going. It just ain't happening. Round 4, Jon, he's getting teed off on. Gus is having at him. And after about halfway in the round, he gets super deep on a takedown, and he still can't complete it on Gus. Jones is bleeding and is just unable to get anything going, even going for a stiff arm. And Gus just jabs him and then tries for a right hand afterwards. Jones is starting to look high with kicks, and it's starting to kind of work. And it's making his counter elbows work as Gus steps in. 40 seconds left. A huge counter spinning back elbow really hurts Gus, and Jones is going for this finish. Knees, goes for a takedown, and even while stunned, Gus stuffs this takedown. Final round, and you can sense both of them are ready to lay it all out on the line. Jones goes for some kicks, then a level change, but eats some uppercuts in his attempt. Another big elbow for Jones. Finally, after 9 failed attempts, Jon Jones finally gets a takedown. Big head kick for Jones. Gus shakes it off like it's nothing. And 2 minutes left. Jones is still putting the pressure in though. Gus trying to maintain his game plan, but the exhaustion just stepping in. 30 seconds left. More head kicks. A big elbow after a head kick, which was really cool. Flying knee as the round ends. And what a fight. The judges give it to Jon Jones, and I think that's fine. Except one judge gives it 4 rounds to 1 for Jones. I don't understand how rounds 1 and 3, either one of them is a Jon Jones round. I have no idea how. So when I first watched this fight, the first time you watch this fight's a 10. Especially when you don't know what's going to happen. Like, you don't know. It's a 10 out of 10. You know, but I don't know if it's like when you watch a movie that has a big twist in it, and the twist doesn't hit the same way anymore. I know what happens at the end. I know the controversy of the decision, and I'm just watching it for the fight. And that like tense of like, oh my God, are the judges going to get it right? Are they going to get it wrong? How bad are the judges going to be tonight? That isn't there. And so that tension not being there, I think, is a 0.5 deduction. even though that's not any fault of the fighters at all. That's just kind of how the nature of something like this is. But how do I feel about this whole card? It's not great. It's not great at all. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna go with a 6.5. No, let's go with a 7. We'll go with a 7. It's a fine card overall, but that main event saves it. If Barao and Wineland was the main event, and we did like Miles Jury and Mike Ricci as the opening fight on the main card, hypothetically, we just upgraded that up. It's a rough card, you know. It's really, really, really rough card. But that main event's super good. It made Gus a star. It took one fight for him to practically have mainstream audiences fall in love with him organically. You don't really see that too much nowadays. I was kind of hoping Steve Erceg would kind of have a moment like that recently. If you want me to review a specific card you just want to see me talk about, join our Patreon, where you can request as a bonus, just a bonus for joining, you can request any card for me to review. The main stuff you get is access to content early, you get all the content YouTube didn't like, and as well as exclusive Patreon content that we've been kind of tinkering around with, like INC and Cage, which is just me and Carl talking, kind of just shooting the crap and having some fun, and even some upcoming movie reviews for the Patreon. I'm Joe with the INC. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.